KCSradio.com. Jody Rainey is with us. He is the principal at Homer Center High School. And our conversation brought to you by Marcus & Mack, voted best personal injury law firm in the Best of Indiana County contest. Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. Jody, good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for being with us here today. I know you don't have school today, so you could be spending your time talking to anybody but me, so I'm glad you're spending some time with us.
Highlight of my day, Todd. Talking to you.
Hey, we've reached Thanksgiving, which is for a lot of schools. It's one of those milestones, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and then all of a sudden, boom, you're into January and you're rolling. The fall goes very fast, doesn't it?
It does. There's so many activities at the start of the school year, too. And, it's, by the time you kind of get back into the groove of a new school year, it seems like we're already closing in on Thanksgiving break. And then obviously then we have our Christmas break. And then not long after that, we'll end our first semester. So we're at the halfway point. It goes fast. It certainly does. But, it's always action-packed, and it's enjoyable, the twists and turns of every year. And so, we're just happy and thankful that we're off to a pretty good start this year.
Well, people talk about same old, and probably from a school administrator's point, there is a certain amount of that. But every year is unique, and probably every day has its own unique qualities when you're talking about a school.
It does, and honestly, it's what I love about my job. It is definitely not boring, and every day is a new challenge. No matter what I have planned, those plans usually get turned sideways within a few minutes of getting to the school, and sometimes they're for great things and sometimes not so great things, but at the end of the day, it's challenging. It pushes you to continue to learn and grow, and so, kind of like the challenge of that. And, I always have found, it's a motivating factor. I don't get settled into, I hate to say the word boredom of, every day is the same thing over and over again. Every day creates a different opportunity, and every day creates a different challenge. And, I kind of enjoy that.
Well, one of the things about what you do and those who are in positions such as yours is there's a requirement, really, for a constant review. What are we doing well? What aren't we doing well? What's working? And where are our problem areas? And I know that review process is an ongoing thing. It happens every day. So with that in mind, as you've looked at the first part of this school year, I'm sure you've identified things we need to get a little bit better on and things that are going well and maybe even unexpectedly well.
Yeah, I think I always think I've thought this all along. Communication is, in my mind, is what makes things work. It's also what creates problems. I'm a true believer that if you really think long and hard about any problem you've ever faced in your life, 95% of the time it's due to miscommunication or lack of it. And it's one thing that I strive to get better at every day. I don't know if I'm getting there or not, but I do find that's a problem. And then when success happens, it's because you had good, strong communication and you were on point. And so I just think that, I think sometimes we complicate things way too much. I just simply believe that, the key to anything is communication. And it seems like when we have success, it's because we've had strong communication throughout our entire system. And whenever we have issues, there's been a breakdown of communication somewhere along the way. So, I don't think I spend a lot of time. Obviously, when something goes well, you look at what has gone well. And for us, honestly, I think it's just creating a culture and an atmosphere. I really believe that. I think that when I say it all the time, and I don't mean this as a slam of anywhere else I've ever been. It's the relationships between our students and our teachers and amongst our teachers is so uniquely different than what I've experienced. The level of being personable and the connection that is between our students and teachers is just great. And I think that's where our success comes from. I think it's a caring environment. I think it's an environment where we try to challenge kids but not overwhelm them, and, give them an opportunity also to be heard, and consider what the kids are telling us. They'll tell you what they need, and we try to deliver that too. And so I think that good ideas can come from any part of the organization, and I listen a lot to our staff. I don't always agree with them, and I know they don't always agree with me, but it's a respectful relationship and one that as we continually work together, we're just trying to do the best we can to help kids grow every day.
As adults who have been out of school for a long time, and my elementary years are 60 years in the back now, but with that being the case, we think back to what it was like for us in school and the ways classes were taught, the relationships that we had with teachers, and there are certain ones that stand out and certain ones that stand out for a negative reason. I think the teachers that we are most comfortable with are the ones that we learn the most from. And that relationship between students and teachers, that comfortability is a real key to learning, I think, anyway. But you're the educator. You tell me.
I think you said it very well, Todd, and I'll add on to what you said. Every year I start our faculty meeting the same way. I ask the teachers of all the things that they could have been in life, why did they choose teaching? And inevitably, 99% of them will tell you it was a relationship with a teacher when they were in school. Somebody that showed an interest in them outside the classroom, maybe gave them advice or supported them during a tough time or a difficult situation where they helped the students see something in themselves that the students couldn't see within themselves. And I think that when we look to hire people, at least I know when I'm on an interview team, I'm looking for that intangible, that somebody that, obviously is a great teacher and has the knowledge and the skill sets, but more importantly, a person that is caring, that can have empathy for others, to understand that sometimes the student's greatest need, unfortunately, is not always their academics. If they're having a difficult situation or suffered a traumatic experience in their life, they need to know that there's somebody that cares about them, not only their family, but also the other people in their outer circle. And I just think that is the difference. Like you said it alone. If I respect you and I know that you care for me and you have my best interest at heart, I'll run through a wall for you. And I think that's, and it's crazy because if you think about it, Todd, if you go back to your school days, whoever your teacher was who maybe you had that relationship was and your favorite teacher wasn't necessarily your best friend's favorite teacher. Mm-hmm. How can this kid attach to this person, but this kid can't, I hate to say the word can't stand, but you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
And how can that happen? And so what I try to strive for and what we strive for at Homer Center is we don't care. We want the kids to feel attached to and cared for at least by one adult in the building. And we have advisory program, and we do meet at least once a quarter in our advisory teams. And our cafeteria workers, our security guards, our secretaries, our teachers, our custodial staff, they all serve as advisors or mentors to kids, and the kids kind of tell us, like, hey, this is who I feel comfortable with, and this is who I feel like I connect with. And it's really a special thing to see.
Well, that connection, as wonderful as it is when it works out, we know that not every relationship will work out between teacher and student or even between teachers and other teachers, and you have to have measures in place that are going to address when you come up short as well. And I know that's just as important to you.
It is, and I think that, it's kind of similar to my story. I mean, I never missed a day of high school, and that might have had to do with the fact that my mother was the principal's secretary and shared an office with the attendance officer, but and my parents put a high emphasis on attending and being present. But at the end of the day is I always enjoyed school, and my story is, and I can tell you the teacher was Homer Lee Stuck, was an English teacher at Penns Manor where I graduated from, and Mr. Stuck, really, I'm not proud of. I did something that I'm not real proud of, but at the end of the day, he's the one that helped me see that good people do make bad choices, and gave me an opportunity to learn from that experience without being like smushed,
sure,
for lack of a better term. And it's really, that was the moment I decided I wanted to be in education, because I wanted kids to understand that they will make mistakes, and it isn't the end of it all, and giving them an opportunity to correct their behaviors. Unfortunately, sometimes you get to the point where that still doesn't work, and then you have to go to higher level discipline. But it's progressive discipline. It's opportunity for students to learn and grow from the mistakes that they make, without giving them the hard final blow. But sometimes you just have to get there, and it's unfortunate, but I think that you still can do that with maintaining that it's a good person in front of you, and everybody's worthy of dignity and respect, even the people that you particularly, I hate to say the word, don't care for in adult relationships, but every kid deserves somebody that's going to hear them out and at least, and try to guide them the right way.
Well, I had a couple of teachers like that, Dwayne Hall and Lee Kerr over at Laurel Valley, who taught me one of the most important lessons in life, and that's that you're not going to be remembered for the rest of your life for something that you did when you were 15 or 16 years old. Life is a whole lot better than just one little snapshot. Jody Rainey, thank you so much for the visit this morning, and we appreciate so much the work that everybody's doing at Homer Center and our other school districts.
Yeah, Todd, can I give this one shout out? Our musical, we're unique in the fact we do our musical in the winter, and our musical is coming up here December 8th, 9th, and 10th. Will be the show days for our musical. It's going to be Bye Bye Birdie, good old classic musical that I remember well from my days in high school. So tickets are available, high school office, $8 are preferred seating, which is our center aisles, or our center seating, and then $5 for general admission. And so the 8th will be at 7 o'clock, December 9th, 7 o'clock, and December 10th, Sunday matinee at 2 o'clock. So I hope everybody can come out and then take in the show and enjoy some entertainment, and also support the kids that are working really hard to put on a great show.
Yeah, and let's see if we can't get them in here in the next couple of weeks, so that because that's a short while away from now, but we've got some time for them anytime they want to come in. Thanks, Jody.
Send me some dates, Todd. We'll get them in.
Beautiful, beautiful. Hey, have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
You too, Todd. Thank you.
Jody Rainey is the principal at Homer Center High. It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS, 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com.